As we head into fall, the Mission real estate market is seeing more choice for buyers than we've seen in years. And for sellers, that gap between wishful thinking and smart strategy has never been clearer. I'm Irene, your local realtor here in my community of Mission, BC. And if you're thinking about making a move, you'll find my contact info in the description below. You can book a call with me and we'll talk about your home. But first, let's get into the numbers. Today, we're going to take a quick look at the Fraser Valley market as a whole. Then we'll dive into Mission's August statistics and wrap up with what the latest rate cut really means for you. Across the Fraser Valley, sales dropped 22% from July and 13% compared to last year. That's well below the 10-year average. Active listings held steady at about 10,500, while new listings slowed by almost 20% from July. However, the slower increase in listings didn't save the sales to active list ratio, and as of August, it's down to 9%. That's deep into buyer market territory. And you can see it in buyer behavior. They've got time and they've got options, and they're making bolder offers on homes that have been sitting around. In August, Mission held its ground. There were 52 sales, just under the 55 we saw last year, and almost the same as July. Most of the movement was between 800,000 and 1.1 million. Homes over that mark are seeing less activity. That split in demand is keeping the mid-range active, while the higher-priced properties are taking longer to sell on the market. In total, Mission had 383 active listings, putting the sales to active ratio at 13.6%, compared with just 9% across the Fraser Valley. Now, overall, that sounds good, but in actuality, it's still 7.4 months of inventory. And for context, a balanced market runs closer to 4 or 5 months. The takeaway is simple. Buyers have time, buyers have leverage, and listings are competing for attention. In August, the benchmark price for a Mission detached home was $1,025,400, and that's basically flat from July and about 2% lower than last year this time. We had 38 sales and 293 active listings, and that works out to about 7.7 months of inventory. Plenty of choice for buyers and more competition for sellers. Now let's break down what actually sold. Under 700,000, there were 2 sales. Between 700,000 and 1 million, we saw 17 sales, with 5 selling under 800,000. And just take a look at these price reductions. Every single one sold below asking. One as much as 130,000 under list. Between 1 million and 1.3 million, there were 11 sales. And again, price reductions ranging from 9,000 to 150,000. Between 1.3 million and 1.5 million, we had 5 sales, 2 newer homes on larger city lots, and 3 small acreages. And over 1.5 million, Mission recorded 3 sales, 1 lakefront property and 2 small acreages. Let's talk about townhomes, coming in at a benchmark price of $656,500, and that's down slightly from July and down about 4% from last year. There were 9 sales, up a bit from last month, and 49 active listings, bringing us up by 16.7%. That gives us just over 6 months of inventory. A few older units started around $475,000, while a newer, more deluxe option reached $840,000. Sales were a little bit better this month, but still buyers have a lot of options, and they're taking advantage of the higher inventory levels. Moving on to apartments, we saw a benchmark price of $434,700, and that's down 1.5% from July and almost 6% lower than last year. We had 5 sales in August, no change from last month, but down 45.5% from last year. 41 active listings in August, equaling 6.8 months of inventory. Prices range from $465,000 for a unit on 4th Avenue to $600,000 for a view property on 7th Avenue. Even in a slower market, location and presentation are still drawing a premium price. Now, to really understand why the market feels the way it does today, we need to step back and take a look at interest rates. Now, from 2015 through to 2020, rates stayed low, under 2%. When COVID hit, they dropped to 0.25%. That's the lowest in history. And that flood of almost free money pushed prices higher by late 2022. Inflation was running hot, and to cool it, the Bank of Canada drove rates up, way up, to 5%, and affordability suffered. Now in 2025, with unemployment climbing to 7.1% and long-term job losses piling up, the bank has begun to ease. On September 17th, they cut the rate to 2.5%, and most analysts are expecting at least one more cut this year. Now, a 1/4 point won't suddenly make homes more affordable, but it does trim borrowing costs a bit, and more importantly, it changes buyer psychology. Even a small cut can give people the sense that conditions are improving, and that confidence is often enough to bring buyers off the sidelines. So that's where the market stands this month, and if you're thinking about making a move, reach out. We'll talk about your plan and what might work for you. I'm Irene, and I'm local and loving it.